All right, here we go. So the next type of problem that I want a pre-calc student to know in the first unit of Mr. Slaney's course is how to know when two bank accounts will be equal. Let's say person one, let's say that they start with $500 and is making, I don't know, 8%. Person two, let's make person two $400 and let's make sure that they make more, right? If they make less, right? If this number were like 7%, the question wouldn't have an answer. Let's make sure that both of these accounts are growing continuously. All right. So I'll do it the long way. It is YouTube after all at this point. So the premise of this problem is that, two accounts are growing continuously. Let's make an account, a d of t function. We'll call it d of t sub 1 for person number one. So this d of t will give the amount of money after t years, e to the 0.08 t. D of t sub 2 is 400 e to the 0.12 t. And this should feel a lot like Algebra 1 now, just this one next 30-second bit. We want to know when the output is equal, right? The question is, when will these two people, person one, person two, have the same amount of money? So these two functions give the amount of money for persons 1 and 2, respectively, after t years. Now, all we want to do is set those equal to each other. E to the 0.08 t equals 400 e to the 0.12 t. All right. And now watch. I am going to divide by 400 on each side. I could have divided by 500, but I chose 400 this time. 1.25 e to the 0.08 t equals e to the 0.12 t. What's really important in Algebra 1 is getting all of your variables on one side. So that's the same line of thought that we're going to do right now. We're going to move all of our t's, right? This t and this t onto one side. So now I'm going to divide by the e to the 0.08 t. I would not want to divide by the e to the power of e to the power of 0.12 t. Then I wouldn't have anything on the right. I'll show what kind of disaster that would look like in a second. From the beginning of our unit, right? Remember, the 0.12 t and the 0.08 t are exponents, and they have the same base, right? Both with e. So right here, that cancels. 125 equals e, right? These are the same base. So we're going to subtract those exponents. We're going to get e to the power of 0.04 t. And now we're just back in, now we're back on easy street. We've done this 100 times. We need to subtract those exponents. Let me write that. And now for the next 20 seconds, I just want to address what would this look like if instead of dividing by e to the 0.08, I divide by e to the 0.12. I would end up with, I'll do that over here, 1.25 e to the negative 0.04 t equals 1. And this is not terribly helpful. I can't do a logarithm at this point because I have the 1.25, and I just have this 1 over here. We would end up needing to, we would be needing to move the 1.25 if anything. All right, back to here. This is just going to be natural log of 1.25 equals 0.04t. Let me just get on the good old computer for a second. Get rid of that. Wolfram alpha, ln, ln of 1.25. So remember, this thing right here, that's just a number, right? I don't know if you can hear, but that's Cronus meowing in the background. He doesn't like pre-calculus. He didn't get a good grade. All right, this number is 0.22. Yeah, it's 0.223 equals 0.04t. Now, 0.04t is not an exponent at this point. That's why we did the logarithm. We can divide by the 0.04, divide by 0.04. My money's on like, well, let's just see. Divided by 0.04. Nope. Oh. And 5 point, yep. T equals 5.578. Please note, if you got a negative answer for time, you really want to check the premise of your problem to say, hey, was this even viable at the to begin with, right? I am known to put those types of questions on tests. Here, person with one started with more and makes less money. Person two starts with less and makes more. So there's going to be that natural inclination. There's usually a bonus part here. How much money will person 1 and 2 have when they have the same amount of money? And all you would need to do is take this value, 3 colors, and plug that value into either one of these. So if I want to do that for d of t1, well, technically it would be d of 5.578. Then all I'm doing is plugging into my calculator 500 e to the 0.08 times 5.578. Whoa, power. Plug that in. 500 e caret 0.08 5.578. And answer is 781.21. Remember, we don't want to do more than 2 decimals with money because we don't really care about that. Chronos. But again, that's just the bonus part. The most important thing is getting an answer here. Again, if you do if you're not staying woke and reading the the beginning quite so closely, and you just want to plug through numbers, if you get a negative answer, that means that those people aren't going to have the same amount of money. All right. Hope you're having a good day. Bye-bye.